The National Institute for Educational Planning and Administration, NIEPA Ondo, has improved the skills and know-how of the fifth set of participants in the series of capacity building activities geared towards strengthening systems in the educational sector in Nigeria. The workshop with the theme Planning Tools, Modeling, and Gender-Responsive Education Sector Planning saw a convocation of academics from universities, colleges of education, research institutes, polytechnics, and allied institutions. According to the head of the Training and Research Department, Dr. Adegbesan, who stood in for the Director General of NIEPA, Professor Jagusah, MNI, the institute trained over 800 education planners and managers in the education sector in the month of October 2022, a feat worthy of applause and recognition. He further emphasized that the training program for academic and ICT staff is one of the thrusts of the Jagusah revolution in building formative skills in attendees of NIEPA's recent training programs.
Let me quickly tell our participants that in the last 2 months, we have trained on this capital training on weekly basis. We have trained over 600 education planners and managers across Nigeria.
Dr. Adegbesan opined that planning is a process where a direction is set out with the aim of making education service delivery more effective and efficient in responding to the needs and goals of society. He underlined the importance of strategic planning for a revitalized educational system and urged all planners and managers to take steps to reformulate their strategic plans to respond to contemporary developments in higher education.
Planning is a process whereby a direction is set out or formulated. The process includes application of different approaches involving planning tools and modeling with the aim of making education service delivery more effective and efficient in responding to the needs and goals of the society. Planning tools and modeling provide a systematic framework for education planning, analysis, and diagnosis for the purpose of achieving the overall objectives of education.
Also speaking at the event and on behalf of the participants, Professor Jimo Oyele from Tai Solari University of Education, Tauswed, added that the workshop aimed at the theory and practice of strategic planning and was designed to reposition educational institutions for the delivery of quality education through the implementation of well-designed strategic plans. He called on the federal government and all stakeholders in the education sector to patronize NIEPA for their manpower development needs.
But the world is dynamic, the world we live in is dynamic. Gone are the days when many of the societies are patriarchal in nature, when we believe that there are things men could do that women could not do. The reality on ground has shown that given equal opportunity, given equal standard education, given the same kind of privileges, both gender can thrive and the two of them can make significant contributions to national development. So this workshop in particular started by first exposing participants to the nitty-gritty of planning, educational planning. We had to look into the various stages, the processes involved, beginning from situational analysis, where you want to plan for something, you first analyze what we have on ground, you know what is the problem, then you formulate a vision and a mission for it. Then you go on like that, you do the costing and think about the funding too. You involve the stakeholders, and of course you map out clear measures, clear strategies, clear tasks on how to implement what has been planned. And of course there should be room for monitoring and evaluation. However, this particular workshop is emphasizing the fact that in carrying out all these processes, we must be gender responsive. In other words, if we are planning a number of classrooms for a school, for instance, we need to consider how many boys do we have, how many girls do we have. If we are talking about the facilities that such schools need, we are talking about toilets. You look at, okay, what's the population of the boys, how many toilets will be sufficient for them, what's the population of the girls, how many toilets will be sufficient for them, and not just on gender, on all forms of disparities that we have in the society. We talk about ability, as we are making staircase that can be climbed by somebody who has ability to do that. You should also be making some paths for those who cannot go in through that layer, those who would need to go through another form of entrance. So we need, in taking care of all this, it will mean that that kind of education will be good for all categories of people in the society. It will be useful for those who, and all of them at the end of the day will be able to contribute their own quota to the development of the nation.
Other participants also underscored the importance of strategic planning for personal and organizational needs, and also in meeting national and regional aspirations.
Generally, even as a family, you have to plan. So it's planning cuts across everything. And don't forget, we are in a planning institution, National Institute for Educational Planning and Administration. So we need plan. The popular word that if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So planning is general. So it's what an organization will use to apply in their various activities, in their various work, in their various programs. So planning, in other planning tools, we are looking at also educational planning tools, educational planning, and that has also exposed us to education sector plan and other types of plan. So we are looking at planning generally, not necessarily education sector plan.
Okay, it's planning generally.
Planning generally. We are now exposed to different planning tools like SWOT analysis, problem tree analysis, pest tool analysis, different analysis that we can use in planning. In fact, we're exposed to knowing more about planning models like the FSIM model, simulation models, and so on. We've been advised to go online to learn about those models.
Has been very interesting, and it's all about e-learning, designing an e-learning platform where we can design an e-learning for other institutional planners to be able to kind of develop their capacity techniques in their various place of work to enhance their thinking faculty, to enhance their ability to design an e-learning based course content to their maybe their schools, their organizations, and just to enhance their working ability, their various working places.
The 5-day training was held at NIEPA's new training complex located in its corporate headquarters in Ondo City.